What's up, friends? This is Manni, and in this video I want to show you one of the most broken weapons in all of War Robots, the Ultimate Igniter, even roasting that Newton Titan right there, but also speaking about the entire Ultimate topic itself because I really don't like it. And that's the setup. Yeah, we're packing the old Fafnir. I brought it out for you guys because you guys like it so much, and I do too. The Ultimate Igniter, of course, makes that thing really deadly. With this particular setup, the beak drone for maybe helping me in the air when I get hit too much, and because I'm also utilizing the flight a lot to attack Titans or other things where I need to shield break. I have Sviatogor Belov as a legendary pilot. Remember, that's the guy who allows you to shield break any enemy while you're flying, okay? Of course, you will not have all 4 weapons active, but you have 2 weapons plus the built-in laser. And that is actually pretty decent. So we're actually clearing this beacon very quickly. Anybody standing in the flames of these Quadro ultimate flamethrowers is basically instantly dead. It is insane how fast people go down. Even a Rook Titan would have to be incredibly careful here, because this damage goes right through his physical shields, brings down the physical shields at the same time. And look at this, that's an angler right there. He's getting hit 2 seconds and he has to activate that barrier, so that that ability, right? I'm starting to fly, and in on my screen I was clearly out of his suppression or blinding radius, but somehow, I don't know, game told me I got blinded. But it's okay, we got him down with the flight ability. This is also something that the Fafnir can do. Somebody attacking you low on, or with ability like the angler, you can fly up and make it harder for him to blind you, for example. And look at this, the damage coming in here is 70% mine, just coming from these igniters. Here's the proof. Look at that Kepri. Whoop! Kepri lost like 15% health in half a second. It's so nuts when these freaking flamethrowers hit. There is so much damage coming in. And of course, I want to also give you a big disclaimer about the entire topic of Ultimate, and I'm going to do that in just a second. But let me first show you this. That guy thought I just fired, but I'm planning the next shot. As he's perfectly going in exactly how I anticipated, he bathed in my flames perfectly, and as such, he died in less than 2 seconds with that full Kepri. That's the damage that the flamethrowers do, and don't get me wrong, I actually believe that the flamethrowers should do this much damage. Why? Because they're incredibly hard to use. To be able to anticipate the movement of your enemy like that was quite some good skill, or at least, at the very least, very lucky that the enemy went right in there, right? That my plan worked. Try to hit a Nether who has 5 dashes ready with flamethrowers. It's never gonna happen. So the weapon is not very strong when the enemy is just very mobile, and Pixonic understands it, and they understood there needs to be something happening. There needs to be a buff for the igniters. The proof is the fact that there's an ultimate version now, so Pixonic understood it. And here's the thing, that the big problem I have with the entire topic of Ultimate is that you may already have leveled igniters that Pixonic understands are heavily underperforming or are too hard to use for how little they work. And so they decide to bring a buff for it. But even though you already have these weapons laying in your hangar and having them maybe even maxed, they're gonna bring it in as a completely new weapon, and therewith completely bypassing all your credits and investments you have made in that original weapon. So despite you having it laying around, being leveled, waiting for that finally for the buff to happen, which then finally comes, you're not gonna benefit from with it at all, unless you start from scratch to first obtain the weapon in the first place, right? That's already problematic enough. And then to start leveling it from scratch. And I think that is a real D move right there, Pixonic. It's not cool. You know, I would think differently if you would allow players to trade their maxed, if they're maxed igniters, for example, into level 1 ultimate versions. At first, the level 1 ultimate versions will be a little weaker than your maxed version, but you would be motivated to level up the new acquired or traded ultimate version, and relatively soon after they will start becoming better than your fully maxed one before. So it's a win-win situation. You are happy that your investment previously and the credit spent in the original weapon isn't wasted, that you can benefit from it one more time and get that new ultimate weapon. And you are motivated to input that credit stuff, put new credits and new stuff into those new ultimate stuff, weapons, and upgrade that, right? and Pixonic gets to have you investing in them. So it's a win-win. Both sides have something from it and can go out of this with being happy, not feeling ripped off. Right now, I'm sorry to say it, Pixonic, it's very nasty the way you've chosen it here. People are getting ripped off because they have all their investments completely ignored and bypassed by the fact that this is a new item that they have no access to and that they have to completely begin upgrading from scratch. Alright, so yeah, if you would listen to my feedback, or at least my vote would be, allow players to trade fully maxed gear into the ultimate equivalent at level 1. This way, everyone feels like they got something out of it. Pixonic would be getting the investment of leveling, and players would get a head start having the ultimate version and being motivated to get them leveled. So, that's my take on it. I wanted to make that clear because I really am not a fan of the entire idea how ultimate is. I love the idea to bring old content back, but not this way, by getting people ripped off. That's not what I'm here for. And I will always be the voice speaking out on this stuff, okay? I will always, when there's something unfair like this, I will always mention it. So take a look at how much we've already killed with this. Godlike! Putting an airstrike up, getting 3 people caught in my corrosion, and the corrosion stack higher and higher, beyond godlike, with a dot effect. I'm somehow still here, even though a Newton Titan made me choke. I'm glad I didn't get shot. I get another choke from the Newton Titan, but I activate my shield. And you saw I blocked the entire salvo from the Tonans and Fulgur, and again, I blocked it twice. But unfortunately, then he had the long shot ready that finished me just as I came out of my shield. But you see, the Fafnir is able to activate his shield while he is being choked by a Newton Titan. Another really interesting thing about this old robot performing really well. And although it is incredibly sad to see how immensely slow oh my god, was that a quick kill. How immensely slow this Link flies. Look, he's just hitting me with everything he's got. And as a result, I got to amplify my damage from the built-in laser due to the incoming damage into my absorber shield, and with the 2 weapons remaining, I basically did the same damage as I would have done with 4 heavy igniters there, and I did that with just 2 of the built-in laser. And yeah, what I was gonna say, it's really sad how slow the Fenrir is nowadays with its flight. They took like, I don't know, I would probably say they made him slower. I remember speed hacking through the map with an igniter. With the Fafnir. And now it's like I'm barely moving at all in the flight. So from judging by that discrepancy, I would say maybe we have a difference of 400% or 500% movement speed compared to the meta time. And at this point, I must ask Pixonic, why did you choose to make it this much? I understand it's not the meta time anymore. This thing should stop killing everything. Should stop dominating the entire map, and there's a new meta with new items. And I do understand how this model works. And to a certain degree, I also understand, perhaps even appreciate, the switch into a different meta from time to time. But I think it's too overkill sometimes that you just change robots into, basically completely change the way they worked. They were introduced this way, and by nerfing them later, they lose their entire functionality, similar to what I've shown you recently, how the dragon lost its flames. Remember that video? Top right corner, also in the description, your recent video with the Aochun, where I show you how the Aochun, the dragon, lost its flames due to that same topic. And here we have the same thing. This Fafnir used to be fast and dangerous, and now it's so slow in the air that it gets shot down by anything, and you cannot even get behind cover or something when you're using the flight ability. The flight is really only there now to get you over a little obstacle, right, that you couldn't walk over, or to activate the shield. That's really what the ability is good for now, to activate that shield and block damage for 5 seconds. That's what you're using it for, to really fly. That fly is not really useful right now. And yeah, I think it went overboard. The Fafnir is way too slow in the air. If you would give it 50% more speed in the air now, it would still be way slower than back in the meta time, but it would allow this robot to dodge 1 or 2 shots sometimes with its speed, to get behind cover before a nasty shot hits him, or actually to get to beacons a little faster, right? Because right now you're an easy target in the air, everybody will shoot you down, and you're so slow that you're not even being able to make use of any potential speed bonus up there. In fact, I believe you're not even faster at all, maybe you're even slower in the air. And yeah, so there are robots like speed hacking Orokochis right now in the game. I believe the Fafnir being a little faster would be the least of anybody's worries, right? So yeah, my vote again is to provide a little bit of help for these outdated old machines. Although, and I know, and probably my hope is in vain, I will never stop saying it. I will always tell you what I think Pixonic should be doing. If they had the interest to please the common player base and to make them happy with something that isn't too much to ask, then here's my idea. I will always do this, okay? And Pixonic can always ignore it, as they always do. Not always, actually. I think we've gotten explosive expert for Vortex, and maybe in the future I think also for Thermites, because I asked for it. Because I told you those are big rockets, and every physical shield ignores them and makes them worthless, same as all energy shields. Those weapons have a tremendous reload time, are hard to use, they're missing every target on the move. We need some splash damage, and what happened later, after 2 years of begging for it, we actually got explosive expert pilot skill and splash damage for Vortex. So maybe it's not in vain. Maybe it does lead somewhere and Pixonic hears it and sometimes considers it. And that would be a great feeling if they actually did, right? That would be a great way to think about this. Here, I'm starting to fly shortly before I get blinded, and then I'm also flying in between his firing pattern because he was firing at some of my allies. Someone was a teammate getting shot by him. Not on my watch, bro. I'm having that shield and I'm gonna block your fire with it, even if you're not shooting me. And in the meantime, I also amplify my own belt and weapon damage. Here's an Orokochi. He was spawn raiding us for quite a while, until I then jumped into this Fafnir and began to work him down pretty fast, actually, with those 4 ultimate igniters. Yeah. What else has there been? There have been other weapons also getting certain buffs and certain much-needed attention. Not just the Vortex and perhaps the Thermite coming up in with Explosive Expert. I think there were some other weapons too. But yeah, while I'm at it, I think all our projectiles, such as Avengers, Molots, they could use a big buff. Really big buff. But we know already there's Ultimate Punishers and Ultimate Avengers coming, right? From the test server. Oh my goodness, did you see how quickly he just died? He probably didn't see the flames coming, and by the time he notices, it was already too late. Because it needs him 1 second to turn his legs around, then another second to walk out of firepower. That was too long. He didn't have these 2 seconds. Anyway, so let's get up here. Attack the dude. Here, look how much damage he's taking from my battleship. Just from the corrosion I added to him, he lost like 70% of his health. It's a Mars robot. Insane. How much damage this battleship actually does when the enemy is stacking all those corrosion stacks and not has any phase shift or so to disable the stacks. And here's the problem. I did a great job in this match until this happened. The frickin' choke ability from the Newton Titan. And look how long, my goodness, dude. That was like, what, 8 seconds or so? How can you survive that? How can you survive 8 seconds of helpless hovering in front of multiple enemies like that? It's impossible to survive. There's no way in hell I could survive that. That choke lasts way too freaking long. It's already bad enough that that the Newton Titan can literally one-shot any Titan except the Rook with one of his freaking Tonan's Fulgur shots. It's completely ridiculous. What were they thinking? Anyways, and then the choke ability being longer with the legendary pilot, literally making it last more than 2 shots. And lasting so long that you just have 0 chance to survive it. You get hovered up, that's it. You may as well just jump into your next robot right when you see it happen. Because there's no way you're gonna survive this long time. Being unable to move, being unable to do some robots can't even activate their ability while they're in choke, right? But yeah, you see we're doing a tremendous amount of damage even to the Rook, and he's actually fleeing, he actually runs away. Because those freaking flamethrowers, he hates them. Because they go right through his physical shields. So yeah, what a very dangerous setup this is here. We have 3 of our weapons still on. It looks like we have only 1, because the wings of the Fafnir actually cover the 2 outer weapons. Uh-oh, we're getting hit from behind. Oh no, and I think he has the harpoon weapons, right? Where the hell is he? Where'd he go? What the heck? Dude just frickin' teleported away. Alright, that confused. Oh, there he was! What the hell? This guy's frickin' is a ninja. He put his ghillie suit on and he just hid somewhere in the corner, man. I couldn't find him. Anyways, here we have another Orokochi. And let me show you how I can grill this guy with these flames. Look at his damage. Now that his ability ends, he's taking the full damage, and look how quickly he's dropping. Of course, I'm not the only one shooting him, but I would say most of that firepower, by far, came from these 4 igniters. So yeah, I'm glad. And let me make a good mood outro here. I'm glad to see that Pixonic understands all weapons need a buff. And I'm also glad they understand there has been a lot of development and design work going into these weapons. Why waste that potential, right? Why not let them live back up? The fact that Punisher is coming back and Avengers are coming back in a buffed state is awesome. But again, I urge Pixonic to please consider allowing players to trade in maxed gear. Because here's another input, okay? Many players have him well leveled, but maybe not fully maxed. But if they know they can get the ultimate version if they max the previous one, like only if you have it at Mark 3, for example, or at least Mark 2 level 12, that would be cool. Would be a very nice thing, Pixonic. If people knew they can trade it in for the ultimate version at level 1, I believe there will be a lot of people resuming their level upgrades and investment into these old weapons to get them to the maxed state, so that they can trade them in for the ultimate version and then begin leveling it up again. Imagine the potential that's in there, also for you, Pixonic. I think that would be a great way. And again, players would feel value. Players would feel like, wow, their investments in the old gear is not wasted and completely in vain. No, they get to benefit from this one last time. Can you imagine what a wonderful feeling this is for a player? This, it would be awesome. So please, Pixonic, it would be most amazing. Anyways, we're here in the last battle situation, I think, or is it the second last? And that might be one more coming. I'm looking at the editing right now. I have still 200,000 HP. Remember, the Fafnir also has a decent resistance on the ground. It's not as strong as the Fenrir is, but it is still substantial enough that you notice big differences between firing at a flying Fafnir and a standing Fafnir. And a standing Fafnir can sometimes be way more dangerous because, like I said, the flight speed isn't convincing you of anything useful anymore. It's not like you can dodge any firepower with flying anymore. That's not going to happen. You're just too slow for it. But the old Fafnir was able to use its mobility to actually dodge a few rockets here and there, or to get out of the enemy targeting system or range or something. Try getting out of range of Lynx, for example, with harpoon weapons. With the flying Fafnir, it's not possible. You're too slow for that. But you're airborne, you're a flying thing. How can something that's flies being slower than something that drives? And yes, that comes from someone who flies paramotor and is literally around with like 30 kph, 20 miles per hour flying around. People can run faster than this sometimes. Alright, yeah, okay, I get it. Sometimes flying things can be slower than walking things or driving things. But still, I think our Fafnirs should be faster. And I know that you guys out there agree, and I know you also agree about the trading possibility with Mark highly upgraded weapons for their ultimate pendant. It would be amazing. Look at the damage that Indra just took, dude. Holy smokes. Of course, now a Titan is also hitting him, but at first it was only my flamethrowers, and he connected this like a champ. He took all of that. Like a boss. And now he gets to take me down. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Catch you in the next video. Manni signing off. Bye-bye.